has gotten so mature that even if you have a new innovation in the product, the customer doesn't notice the differences anymore. So, you know, in the old days, the device used to be the size of a brick, and you had wires going into your chest, and you had to be plugged into the wall. Eventually, somebody put a battery on the device. Eventually, then the game was about the size of the device and the battery life. Eventually, somebody put this inside the chest. Then they made it wirelessly programmable. Then they made the battery life last longer and longer. The new devices can even send you an SMS to your cell phone. So it communicates with you wirelessly. You know, it can tell you you're dead. You know, or you have 5 minutes to say goodbye. But think about it, you know, at this stage of the advancement of the product, it's very hard to create uniqueness. Now ask yourself as a retailer, how can you create uniqueness as a retailer? You can have loyalty programs, you can say I have bigger aisles, you can say my store ambiance, I have better service, I have better products, whatever it is. What is the other guy saying? What is the other guy saying? He's saying exactly the same thing. Right? And he's selling the same products as you are. And the customer is not stupid, and the customer figures this out, and then you're back to square one, competing on price, which works if you're Walmart. So in this context, I want you to see, and now how does this translate? I'm sorry, I will put up a very simple equation, okay, if you will bear with me. Any business can be boiled down into one equation. Profit is equal to volume multiplied by price minus cost. Is that right? Simple? The profit a company makes is a function of the volume it sells multiplied by the difference in the price and cost. That's the simple equation. Now what you see is the following. In a marketplace like we have today, where you have maturation, I'm sorry, can you go back one slide? Price is going down. And you want to make volume go up and profit go up. If you are as a CEO or an executive in a company, you want to make profit go up and volume go up and prices going down, what is your only choice? What is your only choice? Cut costs. Right? But if you try to cut costs, you are now maybe making your product even more, service even more inferior. Very hard to compete, then price goes down even more. You cut costs more, price goes down more, and next thing you know is the business is going down the toilet. I call that the toilet bowl strategy. So if you cannot use cost as the only way to drive advantage, what you have to figure out is how can you support your price? How can you stabilize price by giving the customer something that is meaningful to the customer? So the point I want to establish so far is that in recessionary times, this commoditization game becomes even more acute because the customer is even more price sensitive. And if he's more price sensitive, if you don't have anything unique to offer, he or she will try to get you to offer the lowest price. And price starts to become the primary driver of choice. And you might say, my packaging is better, my brand is better, my this is better, my that is better. But at the end of the day, if the customer doesn't see meaningful differences, the customer will say, you know what, I choose on price. And especially when everybody else is offering products that are pretty good. And you start to see another curious dynamic. Is while everyone, the premium guys are trying to offer premium, at some point the product is also offered at what is called the good enough point. It may not be the best, but it's good enough. And it may be 10 to 30% cheaper than the best. And in that context, the good enough guy starts to kill everybody. So it isn't that many private label strategies are all about saying the customer doesn't want the best. So if you go to one of the warehouse retailers in the US called Costco, Costco has their own private label brand called Kirkland's Choice. If you buy Kirkland's Choice olive oil, you are not buying the best olive oil in the world. You're buying good enough olive oil. You're not buying very, very bad olive oil. You're not buying the best. You're buying good enough. And at some point, the customer defines in their mind, what is good enough? Right? I don't need an Armani suit. Maybe I can get by with something else that is good enough. Looks like an Armani, has the fit of an